Hello, and welcome to On the Couch with Jennifer Gigi Ferguson. Can you explain why you ran? Because now you're running as a Democrat. So can you explain why you ran as an independent previously? I know that's a question you get a lot. So for the record, here it is. Everybody, you can now know.
Well, in 2012, I ran as a Democrat. I really knew nothing. I felt a calling to run. And to run as a Democrat. That's all I knew. And I've lived in University Place for 30 years. We've never talked about politics.
Right.
And it never dawned on me. My friends, people my kids had grown up with were Republicans. But that didn't bother me because I look at people as individuals. However, I had a real difficult time with Democrats wanting to help me because they had already decided who they wanted. And I think that is not democracy.
Right.
And 2014, it wasn't any better. Actually, it was a little worse than 2012 because in 2012 it was an open seat. 2014, here I am, a Democrat running against a Democrat who's already in the seat. And for the most part, people believe that the Democrat in the seat was doing a good job. I personally didn't agree. But we had a Democrat, we had a Republican. So it was really a strategic plan because as I doorbelled, there were a lot of Republicans who weren't happy with the Republican Party, a lot of Democrats who weren't happy with the Democratic Party. I saw the Republican being left of right, and I saw our Democrat being right of left. And I figured, I'll come right down the center.
Right in that sweet spot.
Yes, and so it some people have said she's fickle, she doesn't know what she's doing, where in reality, I'm probably not fickle at all. I'm very decisive.
So what you're saying is you don't necessarily just side with the Democrat, side the Democrat, like along party lines necessarily. You go for what's right is right, what's wrong is wrong, and even though you're running against a Democrat, you didn't necessarily think that he was doing all right things. You didn't necessarily feel comfortable running as a Democrat, running against another Democrat. Is that what am I getting that correct?
Kind of, sort of.
Okay.
I wasn't particular about trying to split the ticket.
Okay.
But then I also realized that's the reason we have a primary, and why the primary is really so important.
Can you explain what? Sorry to interrupt you, but can you, for a moment, explain what the primary is and why it's so important? Because a lot of people, I think, don't understand politics and the process of voting and the different sessions in which they should vote and participate in. So could you?
I'd love to. With the primary, you don't necessarily have people like me who are not politicians, who are doing this because they want to see change, who are doing this because there's a passion. For me, I feel I have a lot more experience, maybe not in politics, but in life, and experience with working with the people and being boots on the ground. And a lot of times that's what we get in the primaries. We get a lot of people who may not be politicians, but they may be passionate about wanting change. You also get people, I believe last year there was someone that was running who was with a Green Party or something, and he just wanted to get recognition for his party.
Yeah.
But you also get people who are very passionate, but we may not have the money. Or we don't have the money, we don't have the name recognition. But we have everything else that would make us an excellent candidate.
Right.
But if people don't come out and vote in the primary, which is in August, and they don't read their voters pamphlet, that's another big one. because our voters pamphlet, Washington is so lucky. We get our voters pamphlet probably a month before the election.
Okay, wow.
And many people see the voters pamphlet and throw it in the garbage.
Don't throw it in the garbage, people.
Please do not throw your voters pamphlets in the garbage, because it actually lists every candidate in your voters pamphlet. Now, it's supposed to list every candidate in your voters pamphlet.
It says supposed to list.
And I say that because in 2012 when I ran, I found out they did not put me in the Thurston County voters pamphlet.
Sounds like they're throwing shade already.
They were throwing shade.
Okay.
They had already decided who they wanted to be the 10th Congressional District representative in Washington, D.C. So my name was not in the Thurston County voters pamphlet. I didn't see it. This is what I was told by a number of people when I was out talking with them. And they're like, I didn't see you. I went all through the pamphlet from cover to cover. And they did not see me. And that is the best thing to do, is to go through the voters pamphlet from cover to cover. Because every candidate writes and they put organizations they're in, or they're affiliated with, or they want people to know about. They write about who they are.
Okay.
And
it's not a big space, though.
It's not. It's about.
Okay, it's enough.
Like that. It's enough
okay.
to give you a good idea about who the candidate is.
Okay.
And you can look at that information and look at the organizations that they're a part of. And are those organizations that ring with you?
Okay.
Are they in organizations
that show leadership,
that show leadership, that also shows that they care about the same things that you care about? And are they on boards where they just sit on a board and make discussions? Or are they boots on the ground? Are they in organizations where they're actually out there? They're actually dealing with the people. They're actually engaged and they know what's going on from the inside or from the bottom up versus just straight the top down.
Okay, so I'm going to interrupt you again. So I heard you say that there are people who are in the primary that are candidates that are in the primary that might really be great candidates, but they don't really have the finances. And so what counts? So if they don't have the finances, what can people do to support? Is it just donating, or is it what can people do to support the ordinary candidate? I guess you could say that is passionate about what they're doing, but might not have finances to get the word out as much as they need to.
Finances, $10, $25, $50 help financially is huge. I know I was just telling people this is the first year we've been able to buy the official envelopes that candidates use. And they cost $385 for 1,000 of those. That's just the beginning. And
that's just for envelopes.
That's just for envelopes so that people can make a donation.
So explain why. So are these ordinary envelopes, or what's so different about these envelopes that they would cost more than the traditional envelopes? I know some people are saying that's just an envelope. I pay a couple dollars for a pack. So what is the difference between these envelopes that makes this?
One, these envelopes are union made. Okay. So as a Democrat, I am very strong. I'm very pro-union.
Okay.
And I know unions is really what opened up the door to create the middle class.
Right.
So
you've chosen to support.
In the past we had it bad, marching for freedom from slavery. Martin Luther King had a dream for us to live together corruption, genocide, scandals. Now at a world time high. What are we doing? It all makes no sense to me. Countless casualties, kids with no food to eat. What are we doing? Sisters and brothers, destroying one another. We can live like this forever. I pray one day all this craziness will end. Be blessed and live as friends and family, you and me. Put the guns away, live to see another day. Place the hate with love again. Realize we're all the same. What are we doing? It all makes no sense to me. Countless casualties, kids with no food to eat. What are we doing? Sisters and my brothers, destroying one another. We can live like this forever. We can stop this mess. Forgive but not forget all those who died and left families here to cry. Every day and every night is a struggle to survive. Too much confusion. There's gotta be a better way than us losing.